Good afternoon, everyone. It's Mal. I'm here with Mike with Nifty Culture. We are super honored and excited to have Tom back on the show for the third time with a new project that he's announcing and his artist on this project, Francisco Herrera. How are y'all doing?
Hi, you
Dude,
guys.
so good. Always happy to spend time with you, Mel. And
Yeah,
Mike, we were just saying, Mike, this is the first time we've actually met. You are a very familiar face to me, but we've never actually met before. So super excited to be here.
Thank you. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird hearing you say that, but yeah, thanks. We're really honored to have you back again, and I'm excited to talk about this project.
Well, yes, we are as well.
So there's been a lot going on, and we're lucky and honored. I know I don't want to shill our own project, but I know that you may or may not own a NFT culture token. But we were excited.
I own several, dude. I got in on that stuff right away. So absolutely, no, I'm stoked.
Right.
Shill away as long as you're going to support the project. I'm all about a good shill.
We have a lot of surprises coming. I can't wait to get you your. I love the shirt. Can't wait to get you your NFT culture hoodie. But this isn't about us. This is about Founders Key. And you obviously the first time you came on and knowing what impact theory was and knowing you have been as transparent as anyone could be about your plans for impact theory, the future of what your goals were with creating the next Disney. Every aspect of what you've been trying to accomplish. We've been candid that the next Disney will be built in NFTs, and lightning in a bottle struck. And I think that the Founders Key and NFTs just presented a perfect storm. And so when you first came on, I assumed something was on the horizon, and very quickly after that, you started teasing some stuff. So can you give us a brief rundown of what happened? What's happening with Founders Key? Some people can still get in, and then what's on the horizon with the project that you guys are talking about today.
Yeah. So the whole point of impact theory is to tell empowering stories. And I really believe so. Right now, in most of the developed world, your zip code is the #1 predictor of your future success, but I don't think it has to be. But the answer is going to be story and getting people in this, what's called the age of imprinting. So it's 11 to 15. And so the whole idea behind what impact theory does is to tell compelling stories that really become the next generation's, version of Star Wars or the Matrix. It's those stories that really become a part of you. And when we founded the company 5 years ago, it was with the idea of, all right, we need to stay in business long enough to find our moment of disruption. Now, I could not have predicted that was going to be NFTs, but from the moment I heard NFTs strung together to when we had allocated millions of dollars in development was exactly 72 hours. And we just went hard. It was just so obvious to me that this was going to be the long-term future. But the whole point for us is to create that IP. So we call ourselves the new house of ideas. And we're, creating all this amazing IP. But how do you go from being a relatively unknown studio? We're very known in the social space, but from competing with Disney space, nobody knows who we are, right? So how do you go from that to really blowing the doors off? And we do a lot of work in comic books. Now being able to play in the NFT space is huge, but it really comes down to the quality of the story, the quality of the art, and then the quality of the roadmap. And so with Modz, which is our current project, we knew that we were going to be able to deliver things within that ecosystem, but we wanted to see, was there something as impact theory we could do that was foundational, that would give people access in one way or another? There's 7 core areas of access to the Founders Key. Could we create that thing that was foundational, that we'll never do again? It was a one shot, one kill. That's it. Literally forever. I'm going to build this studio for like the next 40 years. And this is the only time we're ever going to do something that's foundational. And so that became the Founders Key. And the first project, because what I wanted people to know, if you got in on the Founders Key, this is not something that we plan to do for a year or 2 years. Like, this is my forever company. I have no intention of selling. My last company I sold for $1 billion. So I've got the wherewithal and, quite frankly, the finances to see this through. And I've got, the strong why and all that. So, but the Web3 revolution is exactly the following. It lets 90% of the long tail value of the products and companies that people support go to the community. dude, that will change everything. It actually changes everything for the companies in a good way if you can wrap your head around it. It certainly changes everything for the end community. And so the first thing we wanted to hit people with right away after the Founders Key was like, yo, we've got this project. It is a franchise, meaning that it's going to be short stories, it's going to be long. We hope to get it, done as a feature animated film. It's going to be a video game. It's going to be obviously NFTs. It's going to be metaverse. Like, it is a whole thing that we are way behind. And you, as a Founders Key holder, you can use your free access. So the keys come with varying degrees of free minting. And this is one of those projects. Now, when people see the standalone roadmap for Modz, that's when people are going to begin to understand who we are. So right now, to the thing that you alluded to earlier, I think the Founders Keys are the most slept on project in all of NFTs. And right now, there are still some that you could buy at floor price. And I think people are going to continue to undervalue impact theory for about 12 months. When they see us come back around to Modz next year, and that we've got this insane roadmap planned out for 21, 22, and 23, and that the people that get in now are going to be able to participate through that. And then we have a secret roadmap that goes from 24 to 25. And people will really begin to understand that I'm betting my reputation that I can over deliver on the value, and that I'll do it month after month, year after year. And that's when I think people will really understand what we're about.
That's incredible. And I don't think people are necessarily sleeping too hard on it.
They're sleeping, Mal. I'm telling you, this drives me. It puts me on my Darth Vader energy.
Right,
I'm like,
they're
until
sleeping.
that shit sells out, people are sleeping.
I agree with you, but you had the unfortunate luck and timing to also launch your NFT and we'll get back to the project real quick, but briefly, you and Gary Vee also launched NFT projects at the all-time high, and somehow we all had a stream, all the NFT people. Before we launched the stream, we were all going to buy the Gary Vee project. And Tom, your camera's cutting out briefly, but I'll keep going for a second. The funny thing is, we talked ourselves out of that. We weren't going to talk ourselves out of this. There was no way in hell. So when you think about ETH going up above 35 to 4,500, and you think about gas prices where there are, I think that just slows down the market. I have no doubt that this is going to okay, it looks like it's fine on your end, Mike. I think that the only issue is the gas prices are just way too high, and I think that'll be fixed. And then this thing's a rocket ship. So I didn't mean to derail us too much from Modz, but I just wanted to throw that comment in.
No, I love that, man. And I don't know, do you guys acknowledge comments that are coming through? I'm happy to speak to one that I think is something that a few people felt, which was, look, Tom, it's interesting. I love what you're doing. Cool thesis, but dude, just way too big of a cash grab. And what I'll say is, we are the anti-rug pull. And the only thing I think people will care about in the long run is value. So I paid X, what did I get for it? Now, if you pay $100 and you get $50 worth of value, you feel ripped off. If you pay $100,000 and you get $1 million worth of value, then you made out like a bandit. So to me, it's not about the number, right? Which, first of all, nobody was forced to buy. It's like they either believe in the vision and believe in my ability to execute against it, or they don't. But people are going to, my goal is over time that people laugh to themselves at how little they paid and how much value they're going to get. But look, I so respect that people are skeptical of me right now. And so all I'm saying is watch how I move. Watch how I move in the space. Watch how long I stick at this. Watch how I perform in a bear market. That's going to be my real test, right? So I want people to see how we move as a company, how we add value to people's lives, and that we do it like just on and on and on. And it comes down to, as an entrepreneur, what motivates you, right? So I could have retired and never worked again, but I'm working harder now than I've ever worked. And if you run the math, it doesn't make sense. If I just wanted to cash grab and make more money, then I should have just stayed retired and, and not put my own money at risk. I've not made a dime off of impact theory. Zero, zilch, 0 cents. I've put millions of dollars in, but I haven't taken any, and I will eventually, but I haven't yet because I really believe in what we're building. So anyway, I welcome the skepticism. I think it's fair to ask me to earn my reputation over time. But I just want people to know that I'm here to add value.
So like Disney is kind of known as a media brand, but behind the scenes, like they're one of the, they have their Disney Plus platform. They own part of Hulu. They're almost kind of as much a tech conglomerate as anything else. You kind of see Impact Theory more as a tech company that's kind of enabling these media projects that you're creating, or more
Mike,
as a...
Are you spying on me? I'm not joking. In my driveway at this very moment is a CTO candidate. And we started the interview by saying Impact Theory is becoming a tech company. And he was like, why? I don't understand. And I said, every entertainment company today is a tech company, whether they know it or not. Just when I look at the roadmap of the things that we're going to be doing, every time the hard part is going to be the tech. And so while you're not a literal tech company, you are so on the money with that question. It is all about getting good at technology. Look, we're also, you could look at us in a couple different ways. You could look at us as a tech company. That would be very true. You could look at us as a gaming company in development, and that would also be true. And you could look at us as a NFT company, and that would be true. But the convergent point is the technology. And so that is when people realize that and they have that aha moment and they start bringing on that tech talent, then you can create really special things.
So one small follow-up to that, have you had any, or how's it been kind of trying to bring the tech talent on?
Oh, it's brutal.
Okay.
It's absolute pandemonium. So even with a global audience, like of saying, oh, I don't even need you to be in California. I don't even need you to be in the US. It's still brutally difficult. And so it is a really exciting time because this is so new and there's a chance for tremendous disruption. And whenever you have a moment of disruption, you have a moment of massive opportunity. But the infrastructure hasn't been built, and we haven't had a generation of kids that have gone to college to learn blockchain. So it's really, really new. But that's what business is, right? You take something that's really hard and you do all that gnarly hard work so that everybody else can just sit down in front of Netflix and chill, right? But that behind the scenes, damn, it's a lot of work. So to be honest, there's some element where you want it to be quite hard so that you can show you're the ones willing to do the work so you can capture that audience.
Yeah, that's kind of been me.
So you want to real quick? I want to get back to the tech, but you can't have NFTs, especially these NFTs, without the art. And I grew up, and this is you guys can ask my wife, you can ask my family. I grew up my grandpa had an old Commodore with the printer, and I'd take his printer paper and just draw on it all day. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an animator for Walt Disney. And when we talk about great tech, that's great, but you can't have great tech. With NFTs, you can have all the tech in the world, and that doesn't mean it's going to be a good project. You have one of the most talented, in my opinion, artists that you could have on a project. How do you convince, and I guess, Francisco, what excited you about this project? Looking at your background and working on Disney projects, working on Marvel, working on beautiful animation, what excited you about this opportunity? And what do you see as the future value of NFTs?
Well, my journey in this industry has been the last 20 years. I started really young. I was lucky enough to start doing my first things in consumer products, on in comic books, or as you say, in Marvel and stuff like that. But NFTs is the best thing that can happen to an artist. It's like you cut a lot of things in the middle and show, right, and go right away to do your thing. And I met Tom a couple of years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, and we always try to find a right project to work together. Once this land of NFT approach, and Tom approached to me, said like, let's do this. Just forget about right now the big, the Disneys, the Marvels, that we are really gonna be, and I'm gonna, the same thing that he's saying right now for his company, his community, is like the same value that he add in a personal way to go and build this. It's like, I'm gonna deliver, we're gonna do this, and if you believe in me, we're gonna do this. And what the best way to do this with a new IP, with your own content, so building everything from scratch and work really hard for it. If I already work with the characters that I grow with, that I love it, now to do it on my own shit, it's like, oh, it's the best thing that you can do. It's the best. It's like cream. It's like cream. If I work my ass for Disney or for Warner or for now do it for me, oh my God, it's like the best thing for artists. Any artist, NFTs is the best thing that happened for an art. When I start asking, I'm from Mexico. When I start trying to get into the comic book industry, I was flying, showing my portfolio, my photocopies, going back, try to send a fax or a call. Says like, hey, do you remember me? I'm the Mexican. I want an opportunity. It's like, you remember my photocopies? Can I get a chance? Can I get a chance? Can I get a chance? Right now, it's like everything is in asteroids. It's like boom. Then you have there's no excuses to do things right now, right? When people approach to me and said, I want to do this, how you doing this? How can I learn that? You have everything there. You don't have excuses to do anything. Just go for it. Just go for it. So I can't be in a better project right now, be more excited than doing this with Tom, because I know, and I mentioned that before, like with him, it's like, I know if I have you, there's always fires to go against in a project. Any big project you have to fight. There's gonna be a lot of things that you need to face. So you have to have a great team. And we're building it's just that we're maybe the faces right now, but the team that we have behind and the support of the team and the professionals and the artists that we have behind, it's like an amazing. And I can't feel
we
more
have 50 people in the creative team on Mary Modz, just to give you an idea of scale.
Yeah, from
Wow.
yeah, from graphic designers for Matt and Paul and Joe and Joseph and Hoss, and we can't. There's no way to do this without them. Like any big thing, it's always teamwork. So it's just, I can't get more excited, and I'm just gonna shut up my mouth. But it's what it is. I can't more excited, and I feel so honored to build this in this timeline that we're doing right now. It's great. The competence. The fight outside is gonna be roof, because the quality of the products that are gonna be out is gonna be. So you need to have value, history. We are not an improvised people trying to do things. We have story behind that. That we are really gonna put our souls on this. Not on this just drop in 5 days. It's just the next, as Tom says, the next 5-6 years, going like and put everything that we have there. It's the baby. Let's feed the baby as much as we can. But yeah, it's just delightful. It's amazing.
So one of the things that I was reading about the project, which I thought was really interesting, is so you hand drew, or you've done like hand drawing of a lot of the artwork. So it's kind of like 2D on paper, do high-res scans. But then there is a process where these are kind of converted into kind of 3D modeling. How comfortable, was that something that you came up with or Impact Theory came up with? And how comfortable are you with that whole process?
I love it. We talked since the beginning of what Tom says, like I want it in 3D, quality 3D stuff like render and do textures and stuff like that. But I really have experience doing from 2D to 3D, doing figures for theme parks and toys and manufacturers. So I know the process and the pre-production, production and post-production on doing things like that. Mm-hmm. So I put my hands on from the sketch to real clay to 3D. I've been in the whole train. So it's just like I'm an old-fashioned guy who loves to draw with pencil and paper because I love how it feels. I still have my Cintiq, I have everything on tech, but it's just the beginning. I need to feel it in the paper. So I just draw, even scan or take pictures of reference, and then work with the team, with Paul, and then got it all this, the details on art direction on how the 3D is gonna look, and then textures and mapping and UV stuff. But no, it's been great. I'm used to and I love it. I draw too much. make more than 500 drawings in the last 3 months. Like it's like boom, 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 but it's been really enjoyable every step.
Are all those
That's
500, is that all unique characters, or is that more like art assets?
Everything, just I think between character design, properties, prop, sketches, drawing,
Yeah, so
art.
there are four main characters and then a bunch of properties.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been a lot, and in the next weeks, I think I'm gonna add another 100. So it's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's giving away alpha unintentionally,
Yeah.
Francisco.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to give you talking points before we go live next time.
I don't want to get anyone in too much trouble, but I have to make this comment, and I could be wrong, but when you say 50 people on the creative team, I don't know any other NFTs that have that amount of focus right now. And so when you talk about the comment that came earlier about questioning the investment, this is the first project that you've announced of many NFT projects. And if you're going to have that amount of dedication to make sure that this first project has the bandwidth that it needs in terms of the creative vision, technology, and everything else, that sounds incredibly powerful. The quick comment I'd make about this as well is, we talked a lot about this with you previously and others previously about the fact that everyone's mad at Disney and Marvel for sending cease and desist orders to the IP, and it's like, no, like, who cares? Like, it's their IP, and they did an unfortunate thing. They were contracting their artists. They shouldn't have. If the artists did the art, they should be able to make money off of it. But that's the old way. And we shouldn't make old institutions want to change their ways. They're not going to. They're beholden to shareholders. They're beholden to all these people. And why beg them to change? What y'all are doing is saying, hey, let's try something new. Let's create the next thing. And what's interesting is the same thing with artists, is the same thing with AAA games. You can't wait on a AAA game studio to make an NFT project. What you need to find is talent at that AAA studio that gets NFTs to come and create the first NFT focus. And so when I look at the talent that you're bringing here with Francisco and working with the companies that you say you want to be the next creator of, and the fact, Francisco, that you get it and you're excited about NFTs, and then you say, oh, there's 49 other people involved on this project, it's an interesting perspective to bring to this.
Yeah, it's there are a lot of great projects out there, and I don't want to take anything away from that. And as somebody who's invested in a lot of them, a lot of magic can be made with a lot smaller team. So big does not equal better, but I will say that you can do things with a big team that you can't necessarily do with a smaller team. And so, we're trying to bring the idea of just a full-blown AAA studio coming into NFTs and treating this as what it is, which is an art form, a technology that has a long future ahead of it. And it's a technology where, as I mentioned earlier, it's about what it can deliver to the community. And so there's something really, really special happening. Look, the people that are listening to this, they're already going to get it. But for people that are outside of this world, I don't think they really understand that the world's already changed. Like the pebble has already been dropped into the pond, and it's just that the ripple hasn't yet reached them. And as we look at that, like, we know where this goes, right? We know where this is in 3 years. And so in business, one of the primary directives is skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it already is. And so, when we staff up and we've got the 50 people, it's because we know where we have to be a year from now. Okay. So I'm not worried about 21. I'm worried about 22, 23. And I know I am legitimately sweating because with the team the size that we have and a full year, the amount of things we plan to do, it's going to be like wall-to-wall nonstop violence between now and then. So this is where it gets very interesting for the community, right? For the people that are early. And so for them, they get it. They already know how to move ETH. They know what a good price is. Like, they know how to evaluate a project. This is the moment where it's going to start to get interesting, because we're sort of past that initial shine of just like, well, I'll invest in anything. Everything goes up. And, I have heard the, flippers lovingly referred to as a group of locusts that, go from one project and then they move on to the next. And look, I've been that for sure. But you know, I tweeted out a few months ago and said, it isn't going to be enough for projects to have financial value. They're going to have to start having emotional value. And that's where we come in. So I'm not built for flippers. So I will just tell you, if you're a flipper, I'm going to constantly frustrate you, because I'm all about building for the long term and rewarding people that get in, rewarding people that hold. Like all of our projects, at some point deep into the future, we will do something special for the people that have never sold. So it's just there are certain things that we as Impact Theory want to incentivize, and that's moving early, and that's holding for the long term. Now, anybody that knows NFTs knows that's worse for me financially. It's better for me if there's high trading. But because I so believe in what we're doing, and what makes Web3 so special is getting value into the hands of the community, it's like I'm just trying to tell people to do what I actually believe is best for them. And the best thing for them, because I know what we've got coming, is to hold.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you kind of see y'all? So like one of the things I was reading about Mary Modz is this is kind of like the first Mary Mod drop with the first 4 characters. Do you kind of see it like what kind of cycle are you going to be doing with Mary Modz? Is it going to be kind of like a monthly thing, maybe new characters monthly, or do you have any thoughts you're willing to share there?
That I'm willing to share. That's the key thing to append. So here's the way to think of Mary Modz. Mary Modz is a Christmas specific story. These are real characters that have backstories and lives, and we are writing a feature length screenplay that we are going to try to get produced and make it a mega streaming smash hit. Okay, so that's the vision where to go with the story. So these are not just, you know, random characters, or we are hiring a team of writers to write the screenplay that have Hollywood credits. Like, you know, we're taking that part of it very seriously. And we have pilfered talent from Disney. We've pilfered talent from Netflix. Like we're amassing, you know, the people within these bigger companies that believe in Web3 and what this is going to be. So think of Mary Modz as a holiday season thing that we will return to year after year after year. And then it may be such that there is a bigger universe tied to one of those words. I will let people figure out what that means. But Mary Modz will have its own very aggressive. I think people will be blown away by the roadmap. We'll be releasing the roadmap on Mary Modz with a Z, MODZ, marymodz.io this week. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It is a roadmap that very few projects will be able to keep up with. I will just say that. And we won't miss. We will deliver on everything that we put on there. And more, but I'll deny saying that.
We sort of have it on video, but that's fair.
Well, we've been going for almost 30 minutes, and I know you have a CTO candidate waiting in a driveway. So, you know, I did want to say that, you know, Lauren, our new community manager, she came to us via Impact Theory and even SniperBot. So I did want to give her a shout out because she's a big fan of yours.
Lauren, I'm very excited. I have heard these guys mention you several times before, so I'm super stoked and honored that you came from Impact Theory. That is amazing.
Awesome. She's going to love to hear that. Oh, there she is. Awesome. Yeah,
What's
she's
up?
awesome. She's like we're super excited to have her on the team. Like, she has some really cool artwork. And so, you know, we like her as a personality, a host for the show, but she has really good artwork, really good connections with the art community, which one of the things, like me and Malachi we've been he's going to hate me for saying this, but we've been kind of trying to envision what is Nifty Culture 2.0. We kind of got a little bit sucked into the Nifty project world, and you know, projects are really cool, but it's not really what the original founding philosophy of Nifty Culture was. So we're kind of trying to like re-envision what is the next 6 months for us, what is the next year, and man, you've got a much longer time frame than us, but we'll get there one day. But Lauren is kind of the first step that Nifty Culture is trying to make into getting back to our roots of we're trying to be the center of artists and collectors and technologists, kind of forming a community where you have a mutual goal of building the future of this like awesome space. So we're super happy to have her on. So that's my shout out
amazing.
to Lauren.
No, I love
Awesome.
that. That says a lot. Well, guys, thank you so much for having us on. We're super hyped about Merry Modz. This is long-term for us. For key holders that have a legendary key or a heroic key, goes on pre-sale starting on the 15th. And then the public sale drop is November 16th for everybody. So we hope people will check it out. I promise we will not under-deliver. And yeah, I'm excited to get people on board.
Awesome. Thank you so much,
Thanks
Francisco.
for
Thank you
coming
so
on.
much.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
guys.
It was
We'll
great.
see you guys. Bye.
Peace.
Bye.